Where am I going? What's going on, boob tubers? So this is second attempt at, weirdly, pre-running the TET, the Trans-Euro Trail. I tried to do it the other day but suffered a severe electrical failure. So, here we go again. And basically I'm going to try and do the TET as far as I can, possibly even as far as Marlborough, which is a long way away. And the reason I'm pre-running it is quite simply because my fellow TET rider, MishfitMoto, I guess we're going to call her, we'll be riding a lot of the UK TET this August. MishfitMoto is not entirely confident off-road. Only just recently got herself a 650 G650X. There'll be some, some anarchy wilds going on to that in a couple of days or a week or so. And she'll spend a little bit of time getting used to being on those. But yeah, we're gonna ride the TET from Brighton all the way into and all over Wales and stuff. So even though, from what I can tell from the TET route, it looks like it's pretty chilled. It's mainly kind of back roads and stuff like this. There's very little stuff which is off-road, but she doesn't believe me, so it's kind of giving me a really good excuse to just go and ride bits of it on my days off. When you eat some pork scratchings and some of them are just a little bit wet, moist, and it makes you feel like you're gonna puke. So following the epic holiday we had off-roading in Thailand last year, my girlfriend and I both realized that our passion is not so much ragging it on roads. I mean, quite rightfully she says it's just dangerous. I mean, obviously it is very dangerous, but it's also very exhilarating. But there's so many things that could go wrong, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to convince her to, rag it on the main road. And post Thailand, we discovered that actually there's so much fun to be had just riding around the back roads and just seeing the beauty of where you are from the back roads. And we got totally lost in Thailand, totally made our trip. We met the most incredible tribes people in the middle of nowhere. It was incredible. And so we came back from that trip with a passion for going and finding the middle of nowhere and seeing what we find in the middle of nowhere. As much as the Trans-Euro Trail in the UK, down here, down south, is largely little roads like this. Sorry about the wind. She would much rather do that. And I'm learning to love it. Like, I spent the first 6 years of my life just blatting it on roads, like as fast as I could go. Initially on my 125, and then on my XR 650, and then on this Pablo. And so even when we did do our riding in Thailand, we only had Honda CRF 250Ls that had been nicely set up for off-roading. I'll put a link down below for the guy that I got our two bikes from. He was super cool. Ahead of going, I sent him a load of requirements like suspension height and so on and so forth, and little tiny things that I wanted the bikes to be set up with so that Mish would feel confident. And he did it. No extra charge. The guy was such a legend. We took those bikes off-roading. We did some fairly gnarly stuff. And Mish dropped her bike a lot. There were a lot of bent parts. And he was so very cool about it. He literally charged her the equivalent of like 10 quid. And so I can't recommend him enough. Versus the guys next door who have seemingly got the monopoly bike rental scene in Chiang Mai. They'd had loads of reviews of getting properly done for just tiny little scratches and stuff, and this guy just didn't care about the scratches, just so long as nothing was severely broken. But anyway, since that trip we've realised that we want to do much more off-roading, and do you know what, the UK has some of the most beautiful backroad stuff you could ever imagine. Well, no, that's not entirely true, but it's got some beautiful stuff. So we're going to find it. So I'm pre-running the Trans-Euro Trail between here and possibly Marlborough, quite simply because she thought that the 250 was too big for her and too heavy. And on paper, the bike she's got now, which is the 650, is the same weight, but she doesn't believe, she doesn't trust, which is fair. I'm pre-running this trip so I can figure out how hard the off-roading bits are going to be for her and for me. Obviously, I'm no off-roading legend. at all. And even if you're not off-road, look at how beautiful it is. I'm probably going to say that a lot over the course of the next few months. You don't really see stuff like this on a sports bike, and I love it. I absolutely love it. When I first started riding, I got a Honda XL125V Varadero, and that was because I wanted a bigger bike, but I wanted something that would set me up for getting into large bikes, like adventure bikes. Because I'd had this idea, I was chatting to Mish, and she's like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? Like, where are we going to go? We just moved in together. This was like 7 years ago. And so I was like, I really want to ride around the world. And cut a long story short, at that point, I couldn't even ride a motorbike. I hadn't even done my CVT. And so, after a little bit of bickering about how dangerous it was to ride around the world, we decided that I should at least get a bike to see how I get on. And so I bought Varadero, and before I knew it, every time I had to ride to work, and I was riding to London from Brighton, and I spent so much time just trying to find little trails like this between London and Brighton, just so I could keep the commute interesting. I was doing 6 days a week, and it's so nice to finally return to it after having had a few years of riding essentially supermoto with street tyres. And I'd totally forgotten about this passion for riding tiny little tracks in the middle of nowhere. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. So I came here the other day and I got in a panic. I wasn't sure whether I could go down this track. As far as I can tell from the Ordnance Survey map, I can. This is part of the Trans-Euro Trail, so I'm going to do it. Hopefully I don't come across any horses or anything like that. I think Michelle can cope with this. No worries. And that's one thing many people have said to me about the G650X, is that the ABS is actually really good off-road. It does actually help quite nicely. This is cute. This is very cute. I like it. I like it. But I can't wait to go to Wales and learn how to do this properly. It's going to be mega. Oh, that was sweet. I think Mish can cope with that. That was a nice little track. So if you're watching the video and thinking, why am I riding around so utterly slowly? So I'm trying to follow the TRS guidelines on just general code of conduct, abandoning my previous want for going super quick on main roads. And generally the deal is don't go above 25 miles an hour. If you see horses, you know, take it steady. Don't dig any new tracks, especially if it's wet. Obviously do quite a lot of heavy breathing, a lot of feathering of clutch. Squirrel! Oh, Mish is gonna absolutely love this. Although it'll probably be very different laden with all of our gear making our way to Wales. Absolutely stunning. Boom! Look at that. That is going to be a nice start. So there are some little bits. I just went down a little track just a second ago, which I know only comes out on this road up ahead here. But on the Trans-Euro Trail says that you can get through. But you can't. But you can't. So the GPX file takes you down there or out through there. But there's a gate onto private land. You can't get through. But that's the point of me pre-running the trip, so that I know all these things when I bring the fairer side of this relationship to Wales. I never know whether or not I can trust it to actually be recording. Tractor! Alright, chaps. I reckon Michelle can do this. No worries. She's done much harder stuff than this. Hello to the walkers. Hello. People do just look so disappointed when they see a bike. As you would. You're out having a lovely walk, and then there's some predator looking their head, ruining your peace and quiet. Afternoon. Oh, I got a smile. Oh, I got a smile. That was awesome. Hot, 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 hot. So hard to know what to wear in the UK. You leave in the morning and it's absolutely freezing, even though it's summer. Find a pub. Find a pub. Feather the clutch. Feather the clutch. There's a lot of like, ow, thorny little things on the side. It's stabbing me in the leg. I'm getting stung by a lot of nettles. A lot of nettles. Now my leg is on fire. Right, I've got to take the liner out of this jacket. I am Christmas turkey. Oh my god, it's so much better. So much better. No longer got my liner in. Forward. Ah, feel the breeze. Bit of single track. And it's hard to believe that stuff like this was ever a road. I'm still on. I hope there's no dog walkers down here. Apparently this road is not suitable for motor vehicles. Up ahead there is a soft public road. I think I just have one of my dreadlocks torn from my head. It's a public way. It's weird, you just do feel like it shouldn't be allowed. Let's have a look. All vehicles must be road legal. Boat. Byway open to all traffic. Come on. What is it? Partridge? Grouse? Sorry, little guy. Sorry, little guy. Go on, off you go. Squirrel! Oh, sorry, little squirrel. Now, according to the street sign, this road is a dead end. We shall see, we shall see. Byway open to all traffic. Been out in the boat, been out on the boat. Boating, Oswald boating. Feather that clutch, feather that clutch. Feather, 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 feather that heavy clutch. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, pong. Feather that clutch. Boat. Mud. Nearly went down, but didn't. Just a dab. Just a dab. Woo! Woo! Oh no, I can't see anything. The bloody the sunglasses are down. Woo! Buriton. Any chance of a pub? Must be a pub. Up, 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 up. That is a pub. I should probably go to the pub and get some food. Pub for some food. Pub for some food. I'm going back. I'm going back. I am hungry. I didn't have any food. I didn't have any food. Just a flapjack. Just a flapjack. So I think I'm going to call it a day on free running for today. On my next day off I'll come back to here and carry it on from there and see how close I can get to Marlborough, which is technically going to be our first place that we're going to be staying overnight on our way to Wales. But I've definitely discovered that I need to make sure that we leave early, because I've not covered a huge amount of ground. It's actually been a little bit more dirt than I expected. until a few days time. Boom.